Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about websites. Now I know that there's a lot of talk out there about putting your products on Etsy, eBay, even Amazon Handmade. And there are a few other group sites where you can have your own little shop, so to speak, or page as it were. And the thought of behind that is that you're going to get all of the traffic from all of the other little shops, and they're going to be browsing you just like if you were in an online or a virtual mall. And your thought could be, well, I'll get a lot more traffic that way, so I'm just going to put my shop on one of these larger shops that draw a lot more people. And in your initial thoughts, it's like, that's going to be so much easier and it's going to be so much less expensive. And you may even think that it's going to be easier than doing your own website. The very thought of doing a website sometimes is very daunting for people, and they're like, oh my gosh, that just terrifies me to think that I have to create a website. And so they run to something that seems a lot more easy, a lot less expensive. But let me talk to you about that just a bit. I cannot express to you enough how you absolutely have to have your own website that you control with your domain. And some of the reasons behind that are that you never own anything that is on Etsy. You never own anything that is on eBay. That is their platform. They are the boss of it, and you have no control. If they decide to fold up one day, all your hard work is gone. If they decide to install new limitations or new rules or new regs, you're at their mercy. In fact, Etsy has recently imposed a new advertising fee. If they choose one of your products to advertise their website, they charge you an advertising fee. There's no getting around it. You have to pay it. They used your product, which is their right to do because it is on their website. But because you're the maker, you have to pay the charge. There are so many other reasons not to use eBay, Etsy, or another platform similar to that. I've listed multiple reasons on the printable that I put on the website today. Just trust me on this. It will not benefit you in the long run. If we're thinking about the ease of setting up something, you're going to have far more customization on Etsy or eBay than you are doing your own website. There are so many fantastic platforms out there, just like the one I use, which is Shopify. It is far easier, and I know this from experience because I have tried the others. It's far easier to take a simple website. Even WordPress.com is far easier than setting up an Etsy shop or an eBay shop. And you might be thinking, well, it seems a lot less expensive to go with one of those other platforms, but it isn't. Because like with Shopify, I pay $29 a month every single month, and I know what that cost is going to be. Now, they do take a tiny little portion of each sale to pay for the merchant account. We'll discuss a merchant account here in just a bit. But with Etsy and eBay and all of those, they charge you every time you turn around, and you're getting slapped with new fees that you didn't expect. And in the long run, it is far more expensive. Well, let's talk about my road through finding a website. Now, I started, at least 14 years ago. And at the time, I started with GoDaddy. GoDaddy is where I purchase all my domain names. They are a reputable company. They've been around for decades, and they're very easy to work with. So originally, I went on and I purchased my dragonflyinamberdesigns.com domain name. Rather long, regretted it. It was very hard for people to remember and type in, but it was the name of my jewelry business at the time. So I purchased my domain from GoDaddy, and they had a special or a pop-up and says, oh, try our website tonight. It's so easy and you'll love it. Well, at the time, there were not the platforms out there like they have now. And I really didn't know what else to do. So I thought, sure, I'll try their website tonight. I mean, who wouldn't? A website by tonight? Absolutely. Well, it was a lot more challenging than I realized. And also what I found out was when I got the website tonight, that wasn't a shopping cart. There was nowhere on that for buyers to come and purchase my products. So I had to purchase an additional website that was actually a shopping cart that linked to that. So now I've got two things to deal with. Totally different platforms from GoDaddy, but okay, I'll do what I need to do. Then on top of that, I had to sign up with a merchant account in order to process credit cards. So I looked at two or three. I didn't know what to pick, and I think I wound up with Chase. They charge me a fee monthly. It doesn't matter if I sell anything or not, they charge me. And it was roughly $56 a month. Then on top of that, they took another transaction fee off of each individual sale. It was minor, it was little, but it was on top of that $56 or $57 a month that I was already being charged. So before I even put one single solitary item on my website, I was already paying close to $100 a month. Then I had to hire somebody to actually make the website portion look presentable. I got my graphic artist to do some specific graphics and things of that nature that would be the exact right size. I did, after that, try to go in and tweak some things, add some different content. It was extremely hard. Now, in GoDaddy's defense, that was a long time ago. And I'm sure they have changed a lot of things because website platforms themselves have changed. But I decided at one point, after several years of doing that, I wanted to do something different. So I tried Etsy. I didn't shut down the entire website I had, but I did shut down the shopping cart portion of it, and I shut down the expensive merchant account. I linked my website to the platform on Etsy. Lots of customization, uploaded it, and for a time it seemed like I was getting a few sales. But then, true to Etsy, they start dropping you to the bottom. If your sales don't stay at the top of their range, they push you to the bottom because they only want the people that are selling an enormous amount of product. Well, for a handmade maker, sometimes selling an enormous amount of product isn't possible. We make our products by hand, each and every one, and therefore it takes us a little bit longer. And that's another bone I have to pick with Etsy. They promise handmade, but they soon started letting in mass-produced products from all over the globe. And they came in at dirt cheap prices, competing with handmade products. So naturally, a lot of buyers are going to buy the processed, cheap, inexpensive products that are mass-produced. Who can compete with that? So I plunked along with Etsy for quite a long time. And then I thought, no, I can't do this anymore. This is wrong. The fees were going up. I was having to pay for advertising through Etsy that did absolutely no good. So I explored websites. We were quite a few years down the road. A lot of things had changed. And as I did a lot of research and compared a lot of website platforms, I found Shopify. It has a free version, so I tried it a little tentatively, and I tweaked it, customized it, much easier than the GoDaddy originally had been years and years before. It was even easier than customizing the Etsy shop, and far less rules because this was my website. I could do what I wanted on it. So as I progressed, touching my toe in the water and then moving forward, I added more and added more. Then I went to the paid version. Loved it. Now, they do have themes for sale. and you can purchase a theme, which kind of sets a backdrop for you to customize much easier. If you want a scrolling theme at the top, or if you want a side-loaded type theme, you can pick that. It's a one-time fee. I think I paid $180 for my theme, and I never had to pay another penny for it, just my $29 a month. If you can't afford a theme right now, that's okay. Go ahead and customize what you have with their free or with their paid version. You do not have to have a theme. But I'd already spent way more than that with Etsy, and certainly way more than that with GoDaddy Tonight, or Website Tonight. That $180 to me seemed very economical. So I started to customize my Shopify. And lo and behold, it included a shopping cart, a great shopping cart, a phenomenal shopping cart that was easy to customize. And the real benefit, no merchant account to pay for and set up. They take care of that for you. Yes, on top of the $29 a month, they get a teeny tiny portion of each transaction, but it's very nominal. It's probably less than 5%. And so to me, that was worth it. It's far less than I was paying to actually have my own merchant account. If I don't make a sale for a month, there's no fee, just my $29. Now, another thing about Shopify is they have multiple apps that add on. So if you want a specific kind of feature on your website, a lot of them are free. You just download the app, it plugs right in. Very, very easy. You do it from your internal Shopify account, and you can do wonderful things. They have blogs, they have email databases, tons of things. So while I just touched on that email database thing, let's explore that just a tiny bit. When you're with Etsy, or you're with eBay or Amazon Handmade, you do not have contact with your customer. You do not get their email address. You cannot contact them later. So you can't market to them later. And if they find out that you have included any personal information in their package that was delivered to them, they can ban you from their site. They do not want you sending their customers to your other Facebook pages or websites or anything of that nature. They're very proprietary, and they mean business too. They will send out random shoppers, and if they get something in a box that is personalized, you're in trouble. So with Shopify, or most of the other sites, when a buyer purchases something on your website, they will leave their email address, and they will mark, yes, you can contact me about specials and anything like that. If you have a new product that you want to share, newsletter and email marketing is a very, very important part. And we'll talk about that later in future educational units, but just know that it is very, very important to be able to collect that data and that information. Most of my sales, I'll be very honest with you, have come from my newsletter marketing. If I offer a 10% coupon and I want everybody to know, I can send it out, and I can see as soon as they open, I start getting sales. So it's very, very important that you can communicate directly with them. They will communicate with you as well, and they'll say, I really like that pendant. Could you make me some earrings that match? That doesn't happen on Etsy. Yes, there's a little bit of communication, but they're hidden and they're disguised, and you have no personal contact information. If you message them, then you never know if they even read it. So that, again, is another great benefit to having your own website. I did wind up with Shopify, and I have had many students ask me, well, what website should we use? I know one particular one. I said, well, I love Shopify, and this is why. I did notice that they went with another another website platform. That's fine. We all need to do what's best for us. But then I noticed within a year, they were using a Shopify site. So I want you to explore. I want you to use what's best for you, but it's been my experience and many other makers' experience that Shopify is amazing. Now, a few of the other websites you could explore, one of them is Wix, W-I-X. There is also WordPress.com and WordPress.org. They are two totally different. WordPress.org is a little bit more complicated. If you're a super newbie, you might want to use the .com, but you can't transfer a WordPress.com website to a WordPress.org. They're totally and completely different. Those are blogs, but they customize just like a website, and you can add sales. It's much more challenging, and it doesn't have a merchant account. You have to use PayPal, but you could start there if you wanted to. But in the long run, if you will go with a website platform that already has a merchant account and charges a nominal small transactional fee rather than a monthly fee, you'll do better. But go out there and search for what is the top 5, top 10 makers websites, platforms, and do your own research, or just take my word for it. I don't care. I just want the best for you. Now, on the printable, I did list what I found to be the top 5 websites, or excuse me, the website platforms. But I want you to do your own research, because if you have a bad experience with Shopify, I don't want you to hold that against me, because we are all different and we all have different needs. But I've been very pleased with Shopify. And no, I don't get anything for tooting their horn and advertising for them. I just know how it's benefited me. Now let's talk just a minute about domain names. The domain name is the address that the people will type in to go to your website. Now, if you've already done all the previous modules, then you've picked a business name. If you can get your domain name the same as your website, as your business name, that's amazing. Currently, my domain name, or one of them, I have several, is nancyjacksondesigns.com. I also have nancyjacksontraining.com. I have a few others, but those are the simplest and the ones that I use the most. So go to GoDaddy. They have a simple search box up there at the top. It says search for domains, and just type your business name in there. No spaces. And you do not need to use caps either. Just type it in the way that you want it to read, and they'll show you if it is available and for purchase. Now, some people in the past couple of decades have been buying up common or what they feel are valuable domain names. So you may have a domain name that somebody else has just bought to warehouse and then sell back to you at an exorbitant price. Avoid that. But most of the domain names, they're going to be $11.99 or $14.99 a year, and that's great. That's exactly what you want to see. Do search on there, and you will notice that either it says $9.99 maybe now, and then reoccurring $14.99 a year, but you'll see that on there. It'll be rapidly evident. When you add it to the shopping cart, you will notice that they will automatically ring you up for 3 years. So change that drop-down box to 1 year if you want to do that. If you want to purchase 3 years, by all means, go ahead. But if you're just taking this a bite at a time, and in the beginning there are a lot of expenses, you may just want to purchase 1 year at a time. Now, another option that they will present to you is security. Take advantage of the security program, or I'm not sure what to even call it. It's just a security system that they attach to that domain that does protect you. Take advantage of it. It's about $30 a year. So if you have a $10.99, $11.99 domain name plus the $30, you're looking at about $42, $44, $45 for that purchase. Then you will go over and you will get where you've purchased your website platform or signed up for your website platform, and there will be a place there to write that in, that domain name. And they'll want to know, where did you get it from? GoDaddy. There will be other questions and boxes to fill in. Now, if you have trouble with any of those questions or where to find any of that information, GoDaddy is wonderful to help, and any of the websites that I've tried have been very, very helpful. Even back when I used Website Tonight, which was GoDaddy, they were great to help me with that. And I've used other websites for other businesses and other things that I've done. I've never had a website that didn't want to help you get your domain there, because that benefits them as well. A happy customer is great for everyone. So if you get to the portion where you're putting your domain name in and you're having trouble, by all means, contact your host for your website. Shopify is great. You can do a chat online, just click the chat and type in your problem, or you can give them a call. That may be easiest, and while you're on the phone, they can just walk you through it step by step. Also, GoDaddy will help you as well. So get a domain name, try to make it as simple as possible. No really tricky ways to spell your business name. Like if it's something to something, don't put the number 2 in there unless it really is part of your branding and that people will know is exactly you. If you try to get tricky and cute with that, it really confuses buyers, and they may think, now there was something cute about their business name on the domain, but I can't quite remember how to type it in, and you'll lose them. So keep it simple, write it out. Sometimes too, people will take and just do initials. Like for mine, Nancy Jackson Designs, I could do NJD. Well, there's a lot of NJDs out there. Even if I could find that domain name, it might be confusing, and it doesn't really say it's Nancy Jackson Designs. I want people to know that my domain name is Nancy Jackson Designs. So think about that as you're searching. It's kind of fun to go on GoDaddy tonight and search for a domain name. There are a lot of options out there. Also, you will notice when you're on there that there are a lot of new extensions. .com is the most common, and it is the best. But there's .net, .ed, .tv, and the list goes on. That will confuse your buyers. They are so used to .com that that's what they're going to try to type in. And if it's something weird or wonky, they won't remember what it is, and they won't remember to type it in. A lot of people do search for me by typing my domain name in, not just clicking a link. So it's very important, if you need to tweak it just a little bit to get the .com, go ahead and do it. And play with different scenarios of your name. Not being cute, you could do an underscore. You could do a few different things that stayed with your name. But if your business name truly is unique, the way that you should have chosen it so it doesn't get lost in the crowd, then I don't think you'll have any problem finding a domain name that fits well. Okay, that's it for this month. If you have any questions, or if you need anything in regards to websites, domain names, if you have any questions about a website that I may have tried, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions and help you get started. Just let me know. And when you have your website and domain name set up, send me the link. I love to have it because I want to promote my students. Thank you so much, and have a great month.